Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to solve day 7 problem of this month on LeetCode. Before starting, if you guys haven't subscribed my YouTube channel yet, then please go ahead and subscribe it. Now without any delay, let's get started with today's problem. Problem number 1488. Avoid flood in the city. So let's read the problem statement. Your country has an infinite number of lakes. Initially, all the lakes are empty, but when it rains over the nth lake becomes full of water, right? And if it rains over a lake that is full of water already, then there will be a flood, right? So your goal is to avoid floods in any lake, right? So here, let's say day 1, this is day 2, and then this is day 3, let's say, right? So in day 1 there is a rain over lake 2, in day 2 there is a rain over lake 1, and in day 3 again there is a rain over lake 2. Then simply means that there is flood now, right? So this is the simple meaning of this line. So we have to avoid the floods. So let's see how. So we have given an integer array range where range of I value, if it is greater than 0, that means that there will be rains over the range of I lake, right? So range of I is denoting nothing but the lake number, right? So if a range of I value in my array, if it is greater than 0, that means that there will be rains over this particular lake, right? So here if you see example number 1, simply means this is nothing but, let's say, day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. So on day 1 there is rain over lake 1, on day 2 there is a rain over lake 2, on day 3 there is rain over lake 3, on day 4 there is a rain over lake 4. So this array consists of nothing but lake numbers, right? But there is one more twist here. It is saying that if range of I value, if it is equal to 0, then it means that this is not a lake number. That simply means that there are no rains this day, right? And you can choose one lake this day and dry it, right? So here, let's suppose day 1 lake 2, day 2 lake 1, day 3 let's say it is 0. So that simply means that there is a no rain on this particular day, right? So on this day what I can do, I can dry this lake, right? So from lake 2 I can remove all the water, right? So 0 means that we can dry any one lake, right? Again, if on day 4 again we have 0 value, then I will do one thing, I will just dry this lake, right? I will dry this lake. Okay, there will be no water then in lake 1 also, right? So here I hope that you guys are clear with these 2 points, right? And we have to return an array answer where, so the output is going to be this array answer, and this answer dot length, this array length is going to be same as range dot length, right? The array length, right? And answer of I value, I will just simply write minus 1 if range of I value is greater than 0, right? So if range of I value is greater than 0, right, then I will simply write answer of I value as minus 1. Okay, and answer of I value is the lake you choose to dry in the ith day if range of I value is equal to 0. So if range of I value is equal to 0, in that case, in answer of I will return the lake number that I choose to dry on that particular day. Clear? So if there are multiple valid answers, we have to return any of them, and if it is impossible to avoid flood, then we have to return an empty array, right? So if it is impossible to avoid flood, then simply return an empty array. Important line. Notice that if you choose to dry a full lake, it becomes empty, right? But if you choose to dry an empty lake, then nothing will change, right? Nothing changes. So I hope that you guys are clear with this problem statement, right? So now let's see this example number 1. So range length is 4, so my answer output is also going to have length 4, right? So there is a rain value greater than 1 here, right? Greater than 0 here, right? So I will simply write -1. Rain's value greater than 0 here, I will simply write -1. Range of I values greater than 0 here, I will simply write -1. Range of I values greater than 0, so I will simply write -1. That's it. This is my output, right? Clear? So here if you see the explanation, so after the first day full lakes are 1, after the second day full lakes are 2, right? After the third day full lakes are 1 2 3, and after the fourth day full lakes are 1 2 3 4, right? So there is no day to dry any lake, and there is no flood in any lake, right? So every time new lakes I am filling, right? 1 then 2 then 3 and then 4. It's not like 1 2 and again I'm filling 2, then in that case there will be flood, right? Clear? And there are no dry days as well here. If you see, there's no day to dry any lake, right? So our output is going to be this one, right? So this is example number 1, right? Now let's see this example number 3 once, right? So here range is like this, so my answer is going to have same length of this range, right? So here this is my answer array, right? So day 1 we fill 1 lake, right? So here I am writing -1. Day 2 we fill lake number 2, right? So here I'm writing -1. Now there is a dry day, right? So this is dry day, right? This is dry day, right? So if this is a dry day, right, so I can empty any lake. Let's say I cleared this lake, I cleared this lake, right? Now there is no water in lake 1. All right, good. Then I move here, I see 1, right? So here at this 0 place, which lake I cleared? I cleared lake 1, so let's write 1 here. All right, and now let's see this 1. So it is saying 1, so 1, there is no water, right, in lake 1, so I can fill this water again. So here I'm going to simply write -1, right? Clear? Now if you see, there is one twist, this 2 value, right? So here again I'm filling 2 value, so 2 value is already there, lake 2 is already filled, and again I'm filling this lake 2. Simply means that now in this case there is a flood. So if there is flood, then in that case we have to just simply return empty array. Clear? So that's it. So this is example number 3, good example, right? So after the second day full lakes are 1 and 2, we have to dry 1 lake in the third day. After that it will be rain over lakes 1 and 2. It's easy to prove that no matter which lake you choose to dry in the third day, the other one will flood, right? If you choose 1, then there will be flood on day 2, this lake 2. If you choose lake 2 to dry, then there will be flood when there is a rain on lake 1, right? So I hope that you guys are clear with this example, right? These are the constant size, range dot length from 1 to 10 to the power 5, and range of I values also from 0 to 10 to the power 9, right? Clear? All right, now see this example number 2 here. So first, range of length is 1 2 3 4 5 6, so my answer is also going to have length 6. So day 1 lake 1, right? So here -1. Okay, let's say day 1 lake 1 is filled. Now lake 2 I am filling on day 2, so here also -1. Clear? Now on day 3 0 is the value, right? So that simply means I can remove water from any lake, right? So now let's say I remove the water from lake 1, right? So if I remove the water from lake 1, so I can simply write 1 here, right? And here on this day it's again 0, right? So I can dry another lake, so let's dry the lake 2. So here lake 2 I'm writing 2 here. Now here again there is water on lake 2, so I'm going to write -1. 2 lake is empty, right? And 1 lake is also empty, so again I am writing -1, and again 1 and 2 is full, right? Lake 1 and 2. So here if you see, this is the output, right? 1 -1 -1 2 1, -1 -1 1 2, I'm writing -1 -1, right? So here if you see this line, it is easy that this scenario is flood free, right? And this -1 -1 1 2 -1 1, right? This one is another acceptable scenario, right? This is also acceptable, right? So if there are multiple solutions, then we can return any of them, right? So I hope that you guys are clear with the problem statement and all these 3 examples, right? So now let's see how I'm going to solve this problem, right? Okay, So let's take this example only 1 2 2 zeros and 2 1, right? 1 2 2 zeros, then 2 1, right? So this is our range array, right? And let's say this is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, right? These are nothing but days. Now let's say these are nothing but my indexes, right? 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, 4 index, 5 index, right? So now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create one set, right? And in the set, right, I will store the indexes where there is no rain, right? So my set, right, or I can say my tree set, right, I'm going to use that to store the indices of dry days, and I will do that in sorted order. That's why I'm saying tree set, right? That is why I'm saying tree set in the sorted order. Okay, so why I'm doing that, let's see that. Okay, so first, if you iterate, okay, and also do one thing, we should know that when our lake 1 is filled, when our lake 2 is filled, right, on which index, right, we should know that this as well, right? So I, for that purpose, I'm going to create a map to track the last day each lake received rain, right? The last day, right? So this is what I am planning to do here, right? So this is done, right? So after that, what I'm going to do here, let's iterate over all these values one by one. Okay, so let's say I'm here initially, right? So here at this day, if you see 1, so lake 1 I am filling, right? In lake 1 I am filling the water, right, completely. So now in this case, I will create one answer array, right? In answer array of same length, so if this value is greater than 1, so I have to write -1 here, right? This is the first thing that we need to do always. -1 here. Here also we need to write -1. Here also we need to write -1 because value is greater than this, right? And if there is a flood scenario, then instead of returning answer, I will just simply return the empty array, right? Clear? Right? Okay. Now after that, lake 1 is filled, right? Lake 1 is filled, and this lake 1 is not already filled, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one map, and in my map, what I will store, I will store this range of I, this value, right? A lake value. So lake 1, and this lake 1 is filled at on day 1, or instead of days you can also store the indexes, right? So let's store it using indexes. I'm not going to keep days, but let's say I'm storing the indexes, right? So 1, and so here that simply means lake 1, that is nothing but key, this is value. So lake 1, lake is nothing but key, and value is nothing but index, right? So lake 1 is filled on index 0, right? Then after that, lake 2 is also filled, right? So here lake 2 is filled on index 1, done, right? Now after that, see here, when I reach here, I see value 0, right? I see the value 0. So in my set, right, if there is no rain, so I'm going to mark, I'm going to add this particular index to the available dry days, right? Available dry days, right? So reason is, I'm just adding these indexes in my tree set. Let's say this is my tree set. Okay, this is my tree set, right? So in this tree set, I am adding this index as of now. I'm not planning to clear water in any lake, right? Because maybe at this particular place, instead of 0 we have 2, so when I'm going to reach here, so I need water to be empty for lake 2 instead of lake 1. So here, when I'm at this particular point, I don't want to make any choice, right? Let's clear water 1 or water 2, lake from water 1, or water from lake 1 and water from lake 2. I don't want to make the choice here, so I want to make choice here only. So when I'm going to reach here, so I want my lake 2 to be empty. I don't want any flood. This is my first thought, right? I don't want any flood in my area, right? So I will see that after lake 2, when there is a water in lake 2, when I added the water in lake 2. After that, if there is any dry, if there is any dry day, so let's use that dry day. So that is the purpose here. That is why I'm creating one tree set here, right? And I will store this in increasing order. Okay, this tree set in increasing order, right? So it's not like uh, I want to clean, I want to clear the water of this lake 2 at some other dry day, right? If the first one is available right after this particular index, use that, right? So this may be the case, this may be the case right here. One, then lake 2, then there is one dry day, then lake 3 is filled, then 0, then again lake 3 is filled. So now for this lake 3 you want any dry day, so you want the dry day right after this 3, right? You can't use this day to clear the water from lake 3. There's no water on lake 3, right? Lake 3 water comes on index 0, 1, 2, 3 only, right? So after this particular index we need to search for dry rain, a dry day, right? After this index only. So that is the purpose I'm creating map and I'm storing the index value, so that in the map I will just search the key, right? If this key is already there, right, that simply means this lake is already filled. So if this lake is already filled, then on which day? So if I have this value, so after this value in my tree set, right, after this value I'm going to search for an index in my tree set, right? So 2 and 4 are there, right? 4 and 2 and there, right? So now which one to use? So if these values are sorted now, so after this 3, what is the first big value? So that is 4. So that is the purpose of using this tree set. So I hope that this part is clear now. Clear, right? So now we are here, right? So here I have added this. Now I reach here, I have added this in my tree set, right? Now I reach here, so I want the lake 2 to be cleared, right? This is what I want. So lake 2 to be cleared. So day 2, lake 2, so lake 2 is filled at this index. So after this one, which is the first dry day? So this 2 is the first dry day, right? So I'm going to use this, I'm going to remove it, right? And here I'm using what I'm using this index 1, right? I'm using this index 1, right? So 2 I want to clear, right? So here add this 0, add this 0, right? In the answer I have to write now that which lake I'm clearing, right? Which lake I'm clearing. So this is what we are writing, right? So here after third day, if you see here, after third day we dry the lake 2, right? So we have to give the lake number here. So here this is the lake that we are drying, so I'm just going to add this 2. Clear? Clear. And same way when I'm going to reach here, I will search 1 is here, 0, and after 0 what is the first value which is in my tree set? So this is already removed, I have removed it, this 2. Now 3 is the available, right? So I'm clearing one lake, this one, right? So that's why I'm writing this, that's it, right? So this is how you need to solve it. Okay, clear? So if there is any flood like situation, then we have to simply return an empty array, right? So let's write the code. Very simple. We will discuss also side by side while writing the code, right? Each line, what each line is doing. All right, so let's write the code now. So first is the result array. So result array, it will hold -1 for the rain days and lake numbers for the dry days, right? So for that purpose I am going to create this answer. So new int, and here I'm just simply going to write rains dot length. Done. Now after that, here you can do one thing, fill those values, right? So arrays dot fill all these values I am filling with 1 here, right? So let's say default fill with 1 arbitrary for the dry days, right? For the dry days, right? We need to update it later on, right? And after that, let's create one tree set to store the indices of dry days in the sorted order. So tree set will take care of this part. So in tree set, what we are doing, we are adding integer, we are adding integer, right? So here let's name it as set, and here new tree set, right? And here, that's it, right? This is done. And now after that we have to create a map to track the last day each lake received water, right? So last day, right? So last day we have to keep, right? So here 2 is 1 and again 2 is 4, so we have to keep 4, right? When I reach here, so I will update this value as 4 and here this value as 5, right? So I have to keep the last day, right? Not this point. So here map, and here integer, and here map, and here new hash map. Clear? Done, right? Then we have to iterate through each day. So here I'm just going to run one loop for int I is equal to 0, I is less than rains dot length, and here I plus plus, right? And here after that, if range of I value, right, if it is equal to 0, right, in that case if no rain, we have to add this index to the available dry days. So here set dot add I, right? Done. And else part means if it rains today, then we have to mark this day as -1 in the result, right? So answer of I value, I'm going to set it to -1, right? And here we have to check if this lake was already filled before, right? So I will use the map. Okay, if map dot contains this particular key, which key, this range of I, lake number, right? This value, right? So if this key is there, right, so we have to find the next available dry day after the last rain day of this lake. So here I'm just going to write integer it is equal to set dot ceiling, right? So what we are doing here, we are finding the next available dry day after the last rain day of this lake. So that's why I'm using set dot ceiling, and set dot ceiling is searching for map dot get the value which is for there for this particular key range of I. So I will get the value that is nothing but index, and ceiling means the value greater than that particular index, right? The first value which is greater than that particular index, right? So if no dry day is available to dry this lake, then flood is going to occur, right? So here if it value, right, this variable value, if it is equal to null, right, and then in that case we have to just return new int 0, right? Or you can just name this variable as dry day index, okay, whatever you want, no issues. All right, done. And after that we have to use this dry day to dry the current lake, right? So then simply means that answer of it, right, is going to become here range of I, the lake that we are clearing, right? So this first index, right? So here if you see 0 was here, right? Here 0. So when we reach here now, we want to clear the water in lake 2. So clear the water in lake 2, that's what we want to do, right? So we go here, we see this value is 1. So after that the first index where this 0 was there, so it was at 2. So at this 2 place I need to fill this 2 in my answer. So that's why I'm writing here, right, like this, right? And once I write this, then from the set also I have to remove this dry day from the available set, right? So set dot remove, and here it, right? Done. So here this is for if condition, right? If, right? And one more thing, here we have to update the last day this lake was filled, right? So for that purpose I am just going to write map.put range of I, right, the lake number, and I, the index, right? And in the end, here my for loop ends, right? So here I have to return the final answer array, right? Return answer. Okay, so this is the code for this one, that's it, right? And I will add the comments, right, for each line in my GitHub, so you can check from there the code with comments, right? And the time complexity for this problem is going to be of n log n. Reason is we are using the tree set, right? So in tree set, the insert operations, right, and the remove operations all are going to take log of n time complexity, right? So since we are doing it for n number of elements, so overall time complexity is going to be n log n because of this tree set, right? And this range length also we are running, right? So overall the time complexity depends on this of n log n operation only, right? So now let's run it. Let's submit it, right? So see, our solution is accepted, right? So I hope that you guys are able to understand today's problem, and if you guys still have any doubts, then please feel free to ask in comment section. Till then, keep coding and keep practicing. Meet you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.